Wait, Sydney Watson breaking my silence about Elijah Schafer? What is this?
Elijah wants to act like he's some moral.
Oh shit, he's got a gay guy.
High and mighty, better than everyone. Man, he was fired from his job for inappropriate behavior. And not even a year ago at a conservative conference, he did my friend 4 times in one night, unprotected.
You have that post-ejaculate.
Is it a guy or
clarity? Post not clarity, they call it online these days. But like, because you realize, like,
is it a guy
after
or
you're like, you're just a bunch of holes. And that's really sad, because then it devalues women. So then your view of women becomes so low, because women really are just a bunch of holes today.
Dumb bitch. Please.
Emily Saves America? Oh yeah, okay.
I'm trying to, like, god damn it. Being such a whore.
Let's go.
Literally like, oh hey, you know what? Yeah, a couple beers. Oh, why are you letting me? Why are you letting me? You don't like your whore, you bitch.
We have a lot to talk about. Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And a trip into hell is precisely what this video is. I think for a lot of people...
How does she have viewers? Like, what? Who's jerking off to this? She's so busted.
This video is going to be a long time coming, and for my new subscribers and for new friends of the channel, you are all going to be extremely confused. And I do not blame you for that. Your mama bird had a life before I hatched all of you from your eggs, okay? That was a weird analogy. I'm sorry about that one. Jokes aside, I think it is also worth noting too that as this video progresses, I want you to keep in mind that while all of this to most of you is spectator sport, and more specifically blood sport, this is my actual life, and the things that have happened have directly impacted my actual life.
We do not care.
So the subject matter of this video is very sad and very dark, and it has brought me a tremendous amount of stress and pain over the last 4-ish years.
You got cracked by Elijah?
Dark because it concerns a masterclass in manipulative behavior, compulsive and pathological lying, cheating, what I consider to be a form of grooming of younger men, sexual assault, and a host of other really untoward and negative things. It also concerns me being harassed both privately and publicly since about 2022-ish, and not being able to defend myself during this entire time. Funnily enough, after all of these years, everybody has been able to weigh in on my situation but me. And finally, I'm in a position where I would like to tell my side of the story and hopefully give myself some closure.
What is your...
So for those of you who don't know, I was friends with and formerly worked with an individual and an online commentator called Elijah Schafer, who was recently exposed for having an affair, so to speak, with one of his employees, a woman named Sarah Stock. I will probably show you some unrelated clips of these two for visual purposes, so you can put a name to a face.
You know, I was actually nervous for everybody, considering the fact that, like, you...
Mike Lionheart. Is that not... Wait, is that a different... At Mike Lionheart? That's not... Wait, at Mike Lionheart. Do you see this in the top? You see that, right? Apparently that's someone else. YouTuber, musician. Is this his docs? This is his real life self? YouTuber, musician, software engineer, inspired, INTP, psychology lover. Leftism is evil. If you're mad at something I said, probably said something true. Why does he have... What's with his Avi? Why does he have like a bloody eye in his Avi? What the fuck?
You were trying to pull the sword out, and like you just...
Is this the kick streamer?
You were trying to pull
and
it
it was
out
kind of heavy, and I almost like kind of like dropped it on my shoulder too, and...
Not good at wielding the sword. That's definitely a true statement. So She is blonde.
For those who are not familiar with Elijah and his history as a commentator, the reason that this new information and these allegations appalled a lot of people and led them to accusing him of hypocrisy online is because Elijah, for years, has talked about his relationship with Christianity, giving himself over to God and his journey as a Christian trying to do better and be better. In this podcast, for example, from 3 years ago, he talks about his history of doing drugs and his youth and, I suppose, not living up to the expectations of the church, but navigating his way through his belief system. It's worth noting too that despite his discussions around trying to be a better Christian and routinely telling us that he has given himself over to God and become a better person in the process, he simultaneously has continued to make comments like this.
You have that post-ejaculate clarity, post-nut clarity, they call it online these days. But like, because you realize, like, after you nut, you're like,
I need more almond joys. Hold on, baby.
And that's really sad because then it devalues women. So then your view of women becomes so low because women really are just a bunch of holes today. But that doesn't mean that's who they have to be or who God made them to be or what they should be. And I think that a lot of the hatred that I have towards women and a lot of the hatred a lot of men have towards women is simply the product of generations of sin and rebellion that have created women to be something that they're not. They're not feminine. They're masculine.
Anyway, prior to the information about his alleged affair dropping, Elijah tweeted a series of things about his wife and children being kidnapped, then tweeted that he'd lost his car, or that I suppose it was stolen, and I don't know where this came from, but some people were talking about him saying that he'd lost his gun, which led a lot of people online to speculate that he had murdered his family. After this, he deleted those tweets, but then posted that his wife had actually left him and he was just sober and sad. After this, a host of additional information came to light, and the reason why none of this surprises me is because this is very similar to many of the claims that I made myself about Elijah years ago. And when these claims were coming out from me, a lot of people said that I was lying. There were people who flat out said that I was trying to Me Too Elijah, but we'll come back to all of that later. Soon, these affair accusations were substantiated in some capacity by an audio recording where we can hear Sarah, Elijah's employee, admitting that he got her drunk and reportedly the two hooked up.
Because it was like at CPAC, the 2 nights. You're there, and the second night I was like breaking out in like a rash, and so he's like, oh, like get some Benadryl, it'll help with the rash. And like now I'm thinking back and it's like that's probably why I like blacked out, because he like intentionally gave me Benadryl and like sent me a bunch of shots and stuff, and like obviously that's like stupid on my part to like go along with that, you know, but at the same time it's like,
information came to light, and the reason why none of this surprises me is because this is very similar to many of the claims that I made myself about Elijah years ago. And when these claims were coming out from me, a lot of people said that I was lying. There were people who flat out said that I was trying to Me Too Elijah, but we'll come back to all of that later. Soon, these affair accusations were substantiated in some capacity by an audio recording where we can hear Sarah, Elijah's employee, admitting that he got her drunk and reportedly the two hooked up.
because it was like at CPAC, the 2 nights. You're there, and the second night I was like breaking out in like a rash, and so he's like, oh, like get some Benadryl, it'll help.
Dude, the thing is, it's like, okay, is it sad that that happened and that's ruining their marriages? Yes. But the content that was made with their collaboration was so important to the culture. Like the discussions that Elijah and Sarah Stock were able to have on the stream were so important to the cultural discussion and the culture war that I mean, honestly, it makes up for it in my mind. You know what I mean? It's like, well, while there's some casualties to it, that's like the cost of the discussions. That's the cost of having the high level sort of discourse that we saw on the Rift, you know, when the Rift split open and they would have these heated debates, we would see the ideas, you know, in the marketplace really come to fruition, and we would see them battle each other, you know, to see whose ideas win out. It's only sad that she didn't kill herself out of shame. Yo, what did that bitch do to you, Veda? Damn. You know what I'm saying though? You guys know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I just learned so much from these culture warriors. That it just breaks my heart, you know? But I wouldn't change anything. But the thing is, it's like, if I could turn back time, I wouldn't change a thing, because that was the cost of playing the culture war. You know what I'm saying? That's not all that was split open. The rift between Sarasak's legs too. Yeah, well, that's true. But everyone will mark their political lives as pre and post rift. Yeah. Even if people don't acknowledge it, it's the truth. You know, we were all watching every episode of the Rift TV, and we were all learning.
And like now I'm thinking back and it's like that's probably why I like blacked out, because he like intentionally gave me Benadryl and like fed me a bunch of shots and stuff, and like obviously it's like stupid on my part to like go along with that, you know, but at the same time it's like he obviously like knew what he was doing.
It is worth noting that I personally fully believe this, because in the time that Elijah and I
He's not gay, Joe King. He's not gay.
were friends, it was
You think she blamed it on the rash to her cock? Yeah, probably. Yeah.
not a running theme, but it was well understood that he would try to get people blackout drunk. Now, his motivations for doing so, I could not tell you, but it's worth understanding that this is a pattern of behavior. After this, more audio was released of Elijah drunkenly either berating his wife. It's quite unclear who is actually filming what he is saying. What I think is happening
As if it
is
was
that
not going to happen if not for that rash. Yeah.
he is just talking about her in an awful way to somebody else. Obviously, that doesn't excuse
Rita, what did she do to you, bro?
this whatsoever, and this is an incredibly hard listen, fair warning. But this is something that Elijah would do, where he would get drunk and then discuss people like this.
Dumb bitch. Please. I'm trying to... Like, god damn it. Being such a fucking whore.
You're so
I'm
real.
Literally like, oh, hey. You know what? Get a couple beers.
You're so real.
Why are you letting me? Why are you...
$20. These are seething that they got to sleep with a high-value white man.
Yeah, I know.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, make it make sense. Yeah. Seething, raging, trying to ruin his life. He gave you the gift of his big white cock. Fucking bitch. You fucking bitch. Ah!
You know why? You're a fucking whore and you're...
You know why I lied to you? Because you're a fucking whore and you're a bitch. Go off, dude. Go the fuck off.
bitch. You need to shut the fuck up. How about that?
Thank you, OMG, bro. Big shout out, by the way.
Because when I talk to you the truth, you become a fucking whore, and I don't want to be around you. Well, I'm not a whore. Yeah, maybe you're not. You act like one. How about that? Well, you want to show yourself to me? Yeah. How about this?
His wife sounds like a bitch. Can we just be real? His wife sounds like she was... Now, don't ask me how I know this, but she sounds like she was a whore and a bitch, okay? Getting that vibe that she's a fucking whore. And a fucking lying bitch. That's backstabbing him, that's calling him up when he's a couple beers deep, and thinks that it's a good moment to fucking start a fight. Right then. Dirty cunt.
Handle your shit. Fucking divorce me. Take my son. Do what the fuck you want. How about this? Shut the fuck up, because I'm your husband.
This is really hard to listen to.
Support you and be your husband. Well, you had a couple of beers with someone. Oh, god damn it. Was honest with you. Do you know what I got in return, being honest? This shit. So fuck you.
Breaking me up right now, yeah.
From the bottom of my heart, fuck you, you bitch. I fucking will never be...
Well, I don't think this is his wife secretly recording Elijah. Well, maybe it is. I'm not even sure. I was thinking that... I guess he's probably not on the phone. I was thinking he's on the phone and he's drunk and someone else is like in the room or something recording. And so that's why you can't hear his wife. That's what I was assuming, is like Elijah Schafer's like mid cheating on his wife or something. And his wife calls him up and he's starting a fight. And he's like going off on her while someone's like sitting there like pretending not to listen. That's what I was... Sarah clipping his ass? Yeah, that's what I was imagining.
Honest with you. You're a fucking
Dude, Nick just called out Beardson check Telegram. Oh shit. Oh shit. Let's go. Finally. Finally. Millennial faggots and women ruin everything they touch. Let's fucking go. Get his ass, dude. Pam Bondi is jester maxing and currently being frame mogged by the House Judiciary Committee. She's experiencing visible cortisol spikes as she continues to get back mogged while perjury maxing, zero composure gains, getting reclamation mogged every 45 seconds for filibuster maxing. The hearing has returned from recess. Bondi is getting truth cocked into another dimension by the committee. Still appears to be high inhib despite likely turbo coping and panic loading deflection fuel during lunch. Terrible. Genuinely horrible. Beard God, unsheathe your sword. Did you see what Beard God was fucking making last night? I just saw this randomly while I was scrolling the timeline. At literally 2:45 a.m. Bro is making this. What the I had been asleep for like 2 hours at this point, okay? What the fuck? The replies that don't even know it's me are saying kind of Chad, though. That's the insane part. Looks more like looks Max. Don't care OnlyFans. Guy's not even following me. This isn't even like a Jughead. This is like just random. Actually asking that. Very suspect physiognomy. The fuck? What's he trying to say? Ortho, bro. What the heck? +1 Jimbronies. This person doesn't even follow me. +1 Jimbronies. But why Chad? Okay, this guy did not like me. Give it the gas. Fuck this thing. Whatever the fuck it is. Guy was just freaked out in the middle of the night. This guy was just losing his mind. Fuck that thing! Gas it! Kill it! Ah! In before Nick says he has aura. Mogs both of us, to be honest, says Uber Soy. That's true. That is true. You're fucking Slavic, nasty, disgusting. No, sorry. I'm just being glazed by people who don't even know it's me with a fucking grok filter on over it. What the hell was Beard God up to, bro? What is his problem? Jimbo, don't take this the wrong way, but you should seriously consider going trans. I mean, just look at the scrumptious delicacy you could be versus what you are. I'm just asking you to seriously think about it, okay? Thanks. They don't even... Why? These accounts don't follow me. Who is even replying to me? Who are these people? Who the... This person follows millennial woes. Like, what? What am I even... Closeted Jugheads, Paul Town, your gang stalkers. You shouldn't shroon, but you should get GG tits. What? That's my alt? Oh. Yeah. Wait, the other one? Wood. Thanks. Thanks, man. In other news, dude, I'm almost at 10,000. Dude, why do I have to grind so hard? Like, I have consistently great engagement, so many good tweets, so much good stuff. Why is it so hard to grind out fucking 10,000? I mean, it's getting progressively easier. we're finally hitting the algorithm just right so that I can continuously just get like 1,000 likes on anything. How NoFap Hour 2 feels. Like, dude, these are such good tweets. Come on, man. Come on. Come on, dog. This one didn't do so well. No one knew what I meant when I said beard god. Calling yourself a looks maxer when you can't even grow a beard like beard god. Then I had this fucking retard. No offense. Alexander with like a fucked up spelling. No offense. Said, why would I hide my jawline? Said jaws are soy. Because I'd seen this other reply that said, beards are soy though. My beard go rope. Like, why are they cooking beard god? What the fuck? Why are the replies trying to cook beard god? What the hell, man? What the fuck is wrong with these people? My beard. My beard. But yeah, anyway, pretty good. Dude, I'm gonna get a good payout actually this week. I got a lot of, hold on, let's check. How do I see my, one, I think it's this. See my analytics. Analytics for the last week. Last week, 1.1 million impressions. Yeah, that's pretty good. 2 weeks. Almost 2 mil impressions. Not bad. Not bad. I wasn't really spam replying. I don't even do it with like thought in mind. I should. Honestly, I should. That's what everyone else is doing. Everyone else is just tweeting constantly with bait. And like there, you know, people like try to hit quotas of daily, like, you know, dating people. Okay. Anyway, back to this. Back to Sydney Watson. They literally can't help themselves. It's so disgusting. Wait, what's this? New popular internet streamer Clavicular's 2 felonies and 1 misdemeanor. Charges have been dropped. He lawyer mogged the judicial system. Proof that when you're attractive enough, you can freedom max. Oh, yourself, man. I heard this guy talking to space. This isn't even a millennial. This is like a borderline disabled autistic Asian person. This is like some kind of island Asian with like mental disabilities. But yeah, that's like a whole other thing. Unless he sold the account, which is also possible. The collab thing is insane though. Dude, the Halo, well, first of all, the power of lawyers is so insane. The power of having good lawyers, because they dropped the charges. Like the power of, I don't even know, like how could the lawyers even do that? Does that just mean that like Aiden Ross's lawyers falsified like a prescription or something? they went and paid a doctor to like write a fake prescription or something and use that? Because how else do you get those charges dropped? Like that's insane. And the Halo effect is crazy. Like both of those things are clearly at work here. Because if this was like Convy, it'd be over. Like he'd be fucked. You know what I mean? He'd be in prison. It'd be like a whole arc. He has a good doctor anyways. Thank you, Jews. A felony for a fake ID is very unusual. Yeah, but it was the drug charge too. Maybe that's true though. Maybe that they were trying to pursue a felony for that, and that like then he had really good lawyers that were going to make it a big thing, made them drop it. They argued against their right to search him. Wait, is that really what it was? That he was under contract to be there and they had no right to search him. Really? That's actually how they did it? Damn, dude, when you get genius lawyers, when you get the best lawyers, the best Jews out there. Apparently he was paid by the club to promote it. Yeah, that's true. That's what he was saying. I've heard him say that a bunch, that he only goes to clubs that pay him. He wouldn't go to the clubs otherwise. But that's why he does club streams. Paid by the club to promote it, so he was illegally allowed to be there, even though he was underage. Meaning, the discovery of the drugs and fake ID were under false pretenses. The club owner also vouched for him. Okay, that makes so much. Don't forget Aiden Ross. Yeah, Aiden Ross is the GOAT. Okay. Next. Okay, back to Sydney Watson. Or back to Elijah Schafer cooking his fucking cunt. His stupid fucking cunt wife. Bitch. You fucking ungrateful bitch.
Bitch. So fuck
you.
There were also a series of claims made online about Elijah that refer directly to his proclivities and his interest in same-sex relations. There was also a dossier that, I don't know if it was leaked or if it was just sent to a bunch of people, I'm not sure, but there was a dossier that came out that detailed a bunch of new allegations about Elijah and his current behavior and many of the things that he is currently doing. The YouTuber Tree of Logic, who is a friend of the channel, covered this dossier in a video, which I will link in the description box if you are interested in hearing the extent of the claims made against him by who I believe is a former employee. But it is worth noting here that this is not the first time that Elijah has been accused of untoward behavior. At the end of December 2022, an influencer called Christian Walker exposed that Elijah had cheated on his wife previously with one of Christian Walker's friends.
Elijah wants to act like he's some moral, high and mighty, better than everyone man. He was fired from his job for inappropriate behavior, and not even a year ago at a conservative conference, he did my friend 4 times in one night, unprotected, while he was married. Go get your family life and your morality together, adulterer.
Yeah.
You go study up on what morality actually is, because it ain't cheating on your wife. I met your wife. She was really kind, and it's gross to what you do to her behind her back when you go to conservative conferences without her.
YouTuber Blair White also tweeted about Elijah in the past, alluding to his interactions with men in a not entirely platonic sense. It was also reported back in 2022 that Elijah was fired from his job at a right-wing network due to reportedly sexually assaulting a female colleague. On this front too, I do think it's worth noting that I know of at least 2 other situations where Elijah groped or was sexually inappropriate, sexually harassed women. In one of those situations, I have screenshots corroborating that, but could not get permission from the person involved to publish them, which is completely understandable. In the other situation, there is audio of this floating around, and again, I am just not going to share people's stories like that if they are not interested in being involved. But I do want to make note of this because, once again, I think it's important for establishing a pattern of behavior. Editing Sydney from the future here, I just want to make note of the fact that this information at this juncture is, of course, only alleged. These situations are extremely awful when they transpire, and I would never want to put anybody else, especially not these specific women, in any awkward type of situation. And frankly, that's exactly the same way I feel about any young men who have articulated to me in the past that Elijah made them feel uncomfortable. For the men as well, there is so much stigma surrounding these events, and I just don't think it's my place to tell anybody.
You made me feel like he was gonna fucking molest me.
Else's story.
At any moment, he might jump me and rape me.
Because people have been doing that to me for years, and so, yeah, I'm just not gonna do that. A handful have talked publicly, such as one young man who recently said in a Twitter space that he had to put a chair up against a door when he stayed at Elijah's house because he was afraid Elijah would break in and do something to him. He also said that Elijah would walk around drunk with his gun. In other messages, I was told by a friend in the industry about his conversation with 2 young male influencers, where one warned the other about never being alone with Elijah due to his behavior. On top of that, another young man sent me a video where Elijah went into his room and put sexual imagery on the walls and some weird stuff on the floor as well. Some of you might also remember a video that circulated some time ago where a young Nick Fuentes fan alluded to Elijah trying to buy him drinks. The teen referred to Elijah as a British cigarette, if you catch my drift, a bundle of sticks, if you will, and discussed how Elijah and another person called Ali Alexander, a known PDF file on the right wing, tried to hit on him. Another individual who was privy to Elijah's behavior shared their own screenshot with me where they allege that he is the Diddy of the right wing. In this message, this person alleges that he used his position to
hell
manipulate
nah.
young men and women, give them drugs and alcohol, and put them in compromising positions while intoxicated or high. This person adds that he would later, sometimes, take photos of them in order to use those photos against them at a later date if need be. This
Starts shooting through the door. Give me that pussy. I want it.
person goes on to add that his cheating
This bitch mouth is way too small for Elijah's BWC.
was an open secret, but he would threaten those around him with legal repercussions if they said anything. Now, I want to be clear. I know that to a bunch of people, this will all seem like very unhelpful gossip, and ordinarily, I would actually agree with you. But considering I was friends with this person and in his orbit for a number of years, I think this goes well beyond a person who has some out-of-the-box proclivities and an inability to stay faithful to his wife. We are talking about a person who has done untold damage to the people around him, who has threatened his own friends, who has lied prolifically, and who continues to act depraved while presenting himself online as a Christian figure who should be instructing other people and giving other people advice on how to live. And I have seen almost everything that I am talking about here with my own eyes. It's probably worth saying, but I do hope it's obvious, that my motivation for making this video is not to be vengeful or malicious. I freely admit that I do have a lot of anger in me over the things that have happened over the years, but that is certainly not the guiding principle here.
Did Elijah molest her?
Feel and have always felt that Elijah's behavior is intolerable. And I just cannot in good conscience sit back while this person is able to probably successfully outrun a series of serious accusations again, like he did with the initial essay
Oh, we are pro Elijah, Nemchris.
In 2022.
Even if he's gay.
In this video, I of course feel quite motivated to give my side of the story and to
molested all this guys.
Lay some rumors to rest and explain some of my interactions with Elijah and sort of what I've been experiencing over the years. But I also want to balance that by giving some insights into this person and some of the things that I do think are important enough to be articulated. And, you know, truthfully, I think that he needs to seek help or in the very least remove himself from the public sphere entirely. For the most part, the screenshots that I'm sharing in this video, I do have permission to post. I asked everybody if it was okay. There might be one or two that I include that I haven't gotten express permission to put in here, but the reason I'm sharing those ones, and they come a little bit later, is because I want to highlight what I said, not what the other person was saying.
She sued Elijah and the Blaze?
I'm sharing screenshots is because I want to corroborate what I'm saying, and I don't want anybody to, you know, accuse me of basically just talking out my butt, because I'm not doing that. Since all of this new information has dropped, a ton of people have said to me that I am vindicated because, like I mentioned, I did make a series of similar claims about Elijah a number of years ago. Now, at the time when those claims were made public, a bunch of people took that as an opportunity and an invitation to not only lie about me, but to say that I was trying to Me Too Elijah, to question my morals and my integrity, and also they took that as an opportunity to drag my name and my reputation through the mud. I admittedly still feel a ton of anger and frustration about all of that taking place, as I'm sure, you know, most of you would in a similar situation. Being misrepresented is just not something that I appreciate, and I've never appreciated that. And there is something uniquely terrible about not being afforded the ability to have your own say and to knock down crappy rumors and things that are just certifiably untrue. When I initially met Elijah in 2019, for all intents and purposes, he was just a regular newlywed guy. He was just a guy. And by 2020, he had moved to Texas and then encouraged me to move to Texas.
2020, he was a monster.
Same apartment building, which I did. And so we were neighbors. And this was really cool for me because his wife was one of my closest friends, and she and I hung out all the time, and I really enjoyed our time together. Whereas And
Yeah,
I
got
think
it
this is
out.
important. He and
Wait,
I
we're good?
rarely spent time together, just the two of us. The behavior in question and a lot of sort of what we're talking about now really only started to take place in 2021-ish, and that is when it really started to accelerate. Elijah and I eventually had a show together on a right-wing network between mid-2021 to the beginning of 2022. I ended up taking legal action against my former employer. The complaint, which is accessible and public online through court records and through legal document websites like PESA and whatnot, detailed accusations of hostile work environment, sexual discrimination, and sexual
chocolate all over this, bro.
perpetrated by Elijah. We settled that lawsuit at the end of
reading all that
2024.
candy.
I signed a confidentiality agreement, so it is worth noting for the purposes of this video
Elijah needs to
that
apologize.
I am
Yeah,
not
true.
going to talk about that suit.
What a
I'm not
boss.
going
Moved to
talk
Texas
about
and
the
brought his
company I
side
worked
up.
for, my time at the company, or anything relating to anything to do with that. All of my claims about Elijah's behavior are publicly available through PESA and through court records and the other websites like Justia and whatnot that have, I guess, legal documents on them. Just to be clear, once again, what I'm saying in this video has nothing to do with my former employer. It doesn't have anything to do with my time at that company, and it has nothing to do with the ins and outs of my lawsuit. What I am talking about here relates to things that I saw in my personal life, and a lot of what I am articulating has actually taken place after both Elijah and I left that company. Anyway, when my lawsuit dropped and my accusations and claims about Elijah became public, a lot of people said that I was a horrible feminist demon person who was trying to get even with a man. People said, like I mentioned, that I was trying to be to Elijah. People just flat out said that I was lying, that I had made things up. It's sort of hard to explain how this happened, but also, as my relationship broke down with Elijah,
she does have
a
a
lot of
fucked up
my
head.
close friends either jumped ship completely or just decided to say nothing.
Same.
And I think the reason for the saying nothing is obviously because people don't want to be involved in drama and whatnot, which I get and I can respect that. The people who jump ship, though, I think that must have to do with the fact that Elijah always made it seem like he could help you get ahead if you were very loyal to him, which, you know, was always kind of nonsense because he made out like he had all these connections and could do all these things, but it very, very rarely materialized. But, you know, when you're in a situation where if you're a smaller creator or whatever and you want to grow, you know, you're going to hitch your wagon to the person that you think can get you further ahead, which was not me.
Dude, he could have hooked you up with a Hermes debate, bitch.
At the time, and
Be grateful.
you know, I think it's crap, obviously, but I get it. You know, why would you want to side with the person who's getting publicly lambasted? That sort of doesn't make any sense. But with that said, the other component to this is that because Elijah is a pathological liar, I can only imagine the things that he was saying about me behind the scenes to people, and you know what kind of a picture he was painting. So I think there are a lot of factors with that. The reason I bring it up is because I do want to demonstrate that I was publicly going through, you know, a lot of horribleness, and then at the same time, I didn't really have any friends, and I didn't really have anyone around me.
Fucking
Almost to
loser.
add insult to injury, a bunch of people in the industry actually reached out to me at the time to express their support, but they wouldn't do so publicly, which again, you guys have to understand, you know, when you're talking about angry audiences and all this kind of thing, like people just don't want to be involved in drama. And
Yeah, she's just mad that Elijah fucked everyone else but not her. That's probably true. I mean, realistically.
And, you know, to a large extent, I get that. But with that said, Elijah's behavior was an
little
open
femcel
secret
rage. I hate
and
to see
something
it. Yeah, a
that
little bit.
most people knew about because they witnessed it at events and parties and whatever that were taking place in the space. Like this message from a big creator who told me that anytime this person would see Elijah at events, they'd run away because he was creepy. Those of us who were friends with Elijah also got to witness a lot of this behavior in real life all of the time because he has a problem with substances, and when people are on substances, they obviously behave in a way that is different to how they act in real life. Real life? No, what am I saying here? When they're sober, they act differently to being sober. I am tired and hungry. But despite all of this, I feel like I sort of got hung out to dry
my
because
gosh,
a lot
can
of people
you
knew that what I was saying
hurry
was
up?
truthful, but they just weren't prepared to publicly back me. And so this narrative that I was this horrible demon lady was born and then persisted, which sort of makes no sense because if we're being honest with ourselves, there is really no meaningful benefit to a woman on the right wing.
She would not be fuckable if she shut up. She has a fucked up head, eyebrows, no ass, no titties. Not attractive.
Media space, especially going after a man
At
publicly in the media space for his behavior as it pertains to sex-based mistreatment. People automatically do not believe you because of the Me Too movement and other movements like this, and people assume that you are weaponizing the legal system. There's no upside to this. I'm serious, there's no upside to this. There's no believe all women for the right wing. So for me, my motivation is, and has always been, to advocate for myself and to tell the truth. But self-advocation doesn't exactly keep you warm at night, and this became a very isolating, lonely, sad time. And honestly, it was one where I was being bombarded day in and day out with abusive messages and comments from Elijah's audience. This went on for literally years, and I bet you this is going to happen to this video as well. Don't be surprised if those of you who lurk the comments see a bunch of this crap. Yeah, these people will come to basically videos that I made, videos that I was in, whatever, and just leave heinous, horrible, horrible comments, and obviously messages as well. As soon as my lawsuit dropped, I was correctly...
The way he talked to his wife is the way I talk to my router when my internet doesn't work. That was despicable.
Instructed to not say anything or respond to anything publicly.
Bitch.
So I kind of just had to sit back and roll with being lied about and misrepresented. And so began one of the darkest times in my little life. I think a lot of you knew during this period that I was not okay because you would reach out a lot. Like, people would reach out a lot and message me and be like, hey, are you doing okay? You don't seem okay. And I was not. I was suffering inside. It's kind of funny because I wouldn't necessarily describe myself as a particularly strong person because I am quite emotional, but I would say that I am someone who endures. So I forced myself to put myself back out there and to start doing shows and interviews and go on panels and whatnot. But looking back, it was like every show I did at the time, I was trying to...
Who's trying to get you on? Like, who wants to hear this perspective?
Minimize myself because I didn't want to be bashed anymore.
No one
For
reached
example,
out.
when I was on trigonometry, I
so
wanted to say all these things and go hard on specific ideas, but I don't know, I completely held back because I wanted to spare myself from further attacks. And it's just so to admit that, you know, because that's not who I am. I've never been this sad, weak thing, and yet, you know, I was just so...
You're such a sad, weak thing. Can we get on with it? Can you just talk about the fucking drama? We don't care.
A seeming pile of sads, and there was no escaping it. I'm still sort of there today a little bit.
How many times are you gonna fucking repeat this?
Fanfic about raping and murdering me, and it was relentless for a while there, and admittedly, it made me kind of bitter. It honestly got to the point where people would invite me on their shows, and I'd turn them down and just explain that I didn't want them to have to deal with the heat that.
For self-preservation, I can't read comments, look at chats, etc., which sucks because I love having a laugh with everyone. Definitely have stalkers over all this. It's just a shit situation all around. People are weird for going out of their way to defend people who sexually abuse other people. I don't get it. But anyway, basically, I don't want you having this legion of idiots coming after you. I don't want to be attacked either. So we might need to sit on this for a bit.
That having me on would bring, because, you know, the comment sections weren't just being overwhelmed. For me, they were being overwhelmed from,
release
you know,
the sex tapes or shut the fuck up, bitch.
While all this was happening too, I had the pleasure of finding out that Elijah was also talking incredible amounts of crap about me behind the scenes to industry people or to people that I knew at parties and at events and when he was in studio. He told people that I tried to sleep with him, which is just... This is also not terribly surprising because he would make this same claim about many of the women who he came into contact with. He said that I tried to break up his marriage. That was a fun one. He said that I was this insane feminist crazy person who he had to sue to...
Yeah, he said that you were fired because you didn't have fully formed political opinions. Because you're a woman, of course. He basically went crazy and threatened to spread a bunch of slanderous lies about him, so he had to sue you to stop you. He also said you tried to get his wife to divorce him, again, for no reason beyond your womanly wiles. It honestly didn't make much sense and came out of nowhere. I was talking to Redacted and his wife at the time, and he just came up and started going off. I had heard some of what really happened from Sav, so I was just sort of stunned, but Redacted kept asking, what is her motivation? Elijah kept saying you were crazy and wanted revenge. Probably true.
Shut up. Periodically,
Probably real.
I get a message saying that Elijah was in studio with someone and they heard him say that he won a lawsuit against me for millions of dollars.
Brad Palumbo.
This one's weird to me because this is so easily
They're talking to Brad Palumbo.
studio with someone and they
Wait, Brad Palumbo is in studio with Tim? The Tim Pool episode with Elijah was incredible. He added nothing but went on insane 10-minute rambling rants about vaguely racist anecdotes. The only interesting parts were me and Tim engaging. Oh no, he was on that episode too. And even that, Tim was unhinged, but at least it was on topic, somewhat coherent. Elijah also claimed off-air that he won the lawsuit with you. Is that true? He started talking to Tim about it. Purposefully didn't engage with Elijah at all other than minimal pleasantries. He wanted me to come on his new weird show. And I was like, yeah, I don't think so.
I heard him say that he won a lawsuit against me for millions of dollars. This one's weird to me because this is so easily disproven and it's just such an odd thing to lie about to begin with. I don't know what to do with this one. Recently, actually like a month ago, he was publicly saying this. He went on Sean Mike Kelly's podcast and said that I sued him and he had to spend millions of dollars to defend himself and that I lost.
Elijah, Brad Palumbo, and Preston would go crazy. Preston Para, Elijah, Brad Palumbo, and Veda having a freak off.
You know what's funny? This is the second time I've been sued for millions of dollars. The first time I got sued was for having Nick Fuentes on my show.
You got sued for that?
I got sued for millions of dollars for hosting Nick Fuentes on my podcast.
Who sued you for that?
2022. Sydney Watson, Australian YouTuber who was my co-host at the time. I thought it was weird. I got sued for sexism, and then people thought it was being sued for sexual assault or sexual harassment, but it was sex harassment based upon me targeting her as a woman. So they claimed it was about discrimination, but really she was bitter because Nick Fuentes made her look bad on a podcast and it ruined her reputation. And so she couldn't sue him for being smarter than her. She went after one of her best friends. She was my neighbor too.
Wow.
And yet tried to get me fired. They stole my YouTube channel in the process, crashed my career,
It's probably
got me stuck in
true.
lawfare.
It's
All
probably
because I had a
exactly
person I didn't
true.
like on my podcast.
This is what it
crazy time,
seems
but I beat
like.
that one, got out completely. Apparently, it's not illegal to have Nick on your podcast, but it'll cause you problems.
Now, why Sean hasn't deleted this entire episode, or at least edited this part out of it, I don't know, because Sean is aware of the fact that this is a lie, because
we hate you, bitch.
I DM'd him and told him that. Why Sean did not
Because we don't care what you have to say, you fucking dumbass bitch.
reach out to me before publishing actual lies, I also don't know, because I would have set the record straight if he just asked. And Sean, if
We don't care what you say.
you watch this, or if somebody sends it to you and maybe gives you the cliff notes, I will say it's probably in your best interest to delete this kind of thing because you know it's not true. So, I think it's also pretty important to note that while the YouTube video that I have shown you here that I screen recorded has fewer than 1,000 views as of filming this video, Sean Kelly actually cut a clip from this podcast and posted it on Instagram and made sure to include my face, which
he is not watching.
Really great work, Sean. I super appreciated that. By the time I was made aware of it, it had accumulated somewhere between 300,000 to 500,000 views with hundreds or maybe even thousands of comments. I wish I'd taken a screenshot so I could have showed you guys, but yeah, it had lots of views, lots of comments, and I got lots of messages. Because I'm a glutton for punishment, I will, for all of you, link the YouTube podcast in the description box so that you can view it for yourself, because obviously for the sake of brevity, I cut out some of what was said, but if you want the full picture, it'll be there for you to watch in your own time. So this never happened. I never sued Elijah, and I genuinely have no idea why people keep running with this when this, again, is so easy to corroborate. If this had happened, there would be public court records about it, which there are not. Elijah also tweeted about this as well, saying in late 2025 that he was wrongfully sued by an ex-colleague and she lost. He said that people defamed him over her slander, which she leaked to the press. Never spoke to the press. Never sued him. When he was questioned about this, he said that he had copies of depositions and that he was locked up by an NDA that would disprove what I have to say, and that I got my ass handed to me in court. Again, we were never in legal proceedings with one another.
How would you not
he
beat
was
the
never
fuck out of
deposed
this
for
bitch?
these made-up legal proceedings, and I never got my ass handed to me in made-up court. Don't do drugs, kids. Anyway, as you can imagine, I once again got an influx of angry little messages calling me all sorts of names and being abusive because of this lie, because someone decided not to fact check and just publish crap that Elijah was saying. And I have to imagine that Elijah would bank on the fact that I wouldn't defend myself.
Has she considered that maybe people just harass her because she has a stupid, ugly, easily hateable face, an annoying, horrible accent and voice? Everything she says is annoying and bitchy. Like all of those things, like that, I don't care what Elijah says at all. Like, that's why I don't like you, obviously. Like, hello?
Because it's a real catch-22 with these people, right?
You fucking
if you
cunt!
say something and you react to it and respond
Very
to it,
annoying personality, extremely stupid too, yeah.
you're doing two things. Number one,
You're
you're
just an
giving these
idiot.
people what they
Like-
want. You're giving them the attention that they so desire, and they kind of win.
No, she does
you
not,
are also
Jakey,
breathing
not at
life
all.
into their psychobabble. The other side of this is that if you don't say anything, then you're basically giving them license to keep talking crap about you as much as they want, and they know that you're not going to do anything to defend yourself. On that point too, if I had done something here and sent this guy like a cease and desist letter or something and asked him to stop lying about me publicly, all that would do is help him further this narrative that there's lawfare being perpetrated against him and basically strengthen this narrative that he's constructed around himself. And of course, for me, that would just bring about more of the same crap that I have been dealing with for the last 4 years. So to be extremely, extremely clear, so there is no doubt, nothing that Elijah has said about me privately or publicly has been true. And when he...
So she won't do anything legally against him, because then it would verify his claim that she's committing lawfare. So he can do anything he wants. She won't ever use the legal system to attack him, because it would just verify his attack.
Inevitably watches this video or is sent this video and goes insane online, which he's going to do, he's going to lie about me some more. And the things that he says about me now are still going to be untrue. And this type of behavior, just by the way, isn't exclusive to Elijah. This is definitely like a running theme with some online personalities and people in the industry and in the media space. When they don't have dirt on you, when they don't know anything about you, they just lie. They pull lies out of thin air, they make crap up, and they say it with such confidence that people are dumb enough to believe it. And I feel like this has been successfully demonstrated when you consider all the lies that Elijah has told about me so far to date. So I think the lying, the pathological lying, is a really, really big component to all of this that's definitely going to get missed in all of the drama and the crap that's going on online. And the reason that I want to bring it up is because I think it is how
all
this
jokes
person has
aside, we need
successfully
Sydney and
maneuvered-
Elijah. No, I agree. All jokes aside, we either need the Rift, we either need Sarah Stock to go back to the Rift, or we need Sydney Watson to squash her beef with Elijah, because we do need to be having those conversations just for the sake of the culture and arguing out the best ideas. We need that discussion to be happening. The value that's gained there is worth whatever personal issues that they have against each other, putting them aside, squashing them, so that we can hear the ideas be debated.
So many people in the ways that he wants to,
like
and
in
how he
Athens.
has not only deceived them, but almost had them act based on his dishonesty.
Sarah Stock on Hoedown with Steve Franson. Yes! Fuck yes.
I would argue that most people...
Imagine Sydney Watson back shots, though. Those would be atrocious. That would be terrible. No ass. Look like a guy.
Maybe not those, maybe just a lot of people who know things about Elijah are too fearful to come forward and say anything about him because they know that he's a loose cannon. But what I've realized over the years is that it doesn't really matter if you back him or not, he's going to lie about you anyway. He will threaten to sue you, as he's done on numerous occasions, to random people online. And I know he's done this to at least one of my remaining friends that I have in the media space who never even got close to talking about him. The best way that I can describe it is that Elijah neutralizes anybody who might blow the whistle on him by systematically lying about them to people around that person and him, and also telling lies about that person publicly to cover himself in the event that they might speak out. He obviously did this to me, but he also did this to other people that were in his life when I was friends with him. He would tell lies about these people and isolate them so that if they ever did say anything, no one would believe them. For example, when I found out that Elijah had cheated on his wife for presumably the first time, he took me out to get coffee with him, or coffee lunch, I suppose, and he proceeded to grill me to ascertain what I knew or didn't know at the time, and then borderline threatened me about not saying anything to anyone. And he does it in such a way that the threats are not super obvious, but the undercurrent is there. And obviously, this did not exclusively just happen to me. This happened to other people in his life. I know that it did, and I think this is probably why he was able to, like I said, maneuver people so well and so easily, and probably why he's been able to keep people quiet for this long. Within the media space completely, and this is probably the same for Hollywood and for left-wing media and blah, 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 there is an element here of mutually assured destruction. So everybody knows everything about each other. People love to gossip. And when you find things out about people that they've done that are horrendous, there's sort of this agreement that takes place that I won't say your horrendous thing if you don't say my horrendous thing. And so there exists this ecosystem of agreed upon not talking. That's not a very fancy way of putting it, but you get what I am saying. This has probably been a very long video as it is, and so this really just brings me to the last and short final point of what I want to say here. I am positive that there are some of you who are thinking, why now, Sid? Why is this the time that you are finally speaking out? NDA aside and, you know, all the other crap aside. And the simple but probably not terribly satisfying answer is that there is now evidence that has come out that has not come from me. I think it is worth understanding that I went through a discovery process as part of the suit that I was involved with, which means that the claims that I made I could corroborate, and I could always corroborate. But the truth of the matter is that this story always needed to be told independently of me in order for a large portion of people to find.
Dude, Tectone just farming the fuck out of this is crazy. 3 days apart making videos about Kaide and tens like over and over again.
Credible, and to also believe the information as it came out. As I mentioned, and as much as people don't like to hear this, the reality is that if I had been the one to say all of this, there was a very large possibility that I would not have been believed, as I wasn't to begin with, because of Me Too and Believe All Women and all these other movements. At the end of the day, none of us are perfect. And I'm not just saying that was like a throwaway thing. Like, it's true. None of us are perfect. We're all flawed. We've all made mistakes. We've all
Her
done...
YouTube gets several hundred views per video. Who's watching her? Several 100,000? That's what I'm wondering. I don't understand either. I have no idea.
We wish we could take back, that we regret doing.
She has 1 mil
We have probably
subscribers.
wronged people that we wish that we could unwrong. For lack of a better way of describing it, we've just done things, you know, and I don't think that that's any revelation, but it's the truth. And so, you know, that applies to me. I have done things that I wish I could take back. I've said things I wish I could take back. I have acted in ways that are embarrassing to think about. And I don't like it. And, you know, there's people that I have definitely wronged over the years who I have tried to apologize to. And a lot of those people, probably all of them actually, have been gracious enough to accept those apologies. And we have stronger, better relationships for it, or we have a mutual understanding of fineness. But generally, making mistakes is not a problem if you are on a quest to be a better person and if you are continuing to grow and learn from your mistakes. Again, this all sounds like, you know, let's all hug and sing kumbaya, but it's the truth, you know, like, when you know that someone's messed up, that, you know, they're trying to be better, you're like, yeah, like, go you. Like, you can advocate for people like that. But Elijah was this way when I knew him. And there were times over the years where I would get a snippet about what he was doing and I think, oh, he's on the right path, like he's trying. But now I just see that I think he's just gotten worse, honestly.
He's just evil. He's just bloody evil.
He's gone on to not only victimize more people, but hurt the people dearest to him and create more and more problems, not only for himself, but the people in his orbit. It's why I'm so pressed by the recent news and... How
are you still talking? This bitch just went in circles for like 40 minutes. That was rough. Okay, next. What else we got? What else I got going on?